Good morning. We're going to solve a problem for mean. So the first thing I need to do is read my problem, and I need to read it very carefully. This one says the ages of participants in a long distance bike race are as follows: 22, 21, 57, 22, 11, 23, 22, and 42. And then the question is, what is the mean age of this data set? What I'd like you to do now is pause your video and tell yourself the two steps for finding the mean, and then turn the video back on and I will give you the answer to the first part. Okay, there are two steps to finding the mean. The first is to add up all the numbers in your data set, and then you will divide by the number of numbers that you have in your data set. So we're going to divide by the population of our data set. And when I look at this one, I have 3, 6, 8 numbers. So I'm going to end up dividing my sum by 8. So what I'd like you to do now is, again, pause the video, add up all your numbers, and you may use a calculator on this. When you're finished adding those numbers, turn the video back on and I'll walk you through that step. Okay, we're comparing answers here. So I have my calculator because we can use a calculator on this problem. So I'm going to do 22 plus 21 plus 57 plus 22 plus 11 plus 23 plus 22 plus 42. All right, just double check to make sure you've entered all the numbers. My calculator has a statistics feature, so I could go into that mode and I could figure out the mean that way. It's very good to understand how to use your calculator, so that's just the thing that I'd like to point out. All right, so I'm going to hit the equal button, and I have 220. So the next thing I want you to do is pause the video and set up your division equation, and let's walk through the steps of that. So divide to solve, and then turn the video back on and I'll walk you through that process. Okay, this part we're going to do without a calculator. So I have 220 and I'm dividing that by 8. It's a little tricky to draw your equation out this way. Notice I have mine a little bit crooked, but I'm going to keep going. 8 does not go into 2. I'm comparing my numbers now, so I need to move over 1. 8 does go into 22, and it's going to go 2 times. 8 times 3 is 24, so that's a little bit too big. I can't use it. Okay, 8 times 2 is 16, so I write my 16. And now it's time to subtract. 6 is too big when I compare 6 and 2, so I need to make 6 fatter. I need to borrow. So I'm going to bring 10 over. 12 minus 6 is 6. Now I compare my 8 and my 6, and guess what? Too small, so I need to bring down that 0. Next step, thinking about 8 times what number gets me to close to 60. We got to go with 7. That's 56. Okay, I'm going to keep going. 60 minus 56 is 4. I got to compare. It's too small. So before I add my 0, I'm going to put a decimal point in there. Now I'm going to add a 0. Up here I need to make sure I also add my decimal point in my quotient, my answer, because I want my answer to be 27 point something and not 270. And if I don't put that decimal point in there, I could easily make a mistake. Well, I know that 8 times 5 is 40, and when I subtract, I'll have nothing left over. So the mean of this data set is 27.5. The average age for the biker in this bike race was 27.5 years. All right, so our steps for finding the mean were first to add up all the numbers and then divide by your population of your data set. Population of your data set is the number of numbers you had in that data set. Watch this video as many times as it takes to learn how to do the mean. And thank you for paying attention.